This is the afternoon weather briefing. This is for Tuesday, the 27th of June. I'm James Spann. Weather hot today. Weather's going to get hotter as we go along this week. Hottest weather so far this year. Potential for a few spots seeing triple digits by Friday. But then the good news, the heat backs down next week as we get into the 4th of July holiday period. So let's dive in and talk about it today. This is the upper air look, and you've seen this for a while. We have a heat ridge over Texas. And on the periphery of that, we have the ring of fire effect where storms can fire and follow the circulation around the upper high. Here we have a northwest flow aloft. And in Alabama, a fairly dry air mass for the northern half of the state. The dew points are down, the sky is sunny. But over parts of South Alabama, we have a field of cumulus clouds, and a few isolated storms have formed over the southwestern counties of the state. Counties like Marengo, Choctaw, Washington, Clark, and Monroe. And parts of southwest Alabama will see these isolated storms this evening. The rest of the state dry and will likely stay dry tonight. Heat levels, these are at 2 o'clock. Tuscaloosa 92, Birmingham 91. The hot spot, Mobile at 95. And again, we have an excessive heat watch in effect for about the western half of the state. And this is for Thursday, not tomorrow, but Thursday. And again, this is a Weather Service criteria thing. This is where they believe the heat index could approach 110 on Thursday, and more than likely Friday as well. And we do note there is an excessive heat warning for the southern part of Mobile and Baldwin counties, basically south of Interstate 10, for today, where the heat index could be close to 110. And again, I don't want you getting too hung up in these heat advisories and watches and warnings. Everybody's going to be hot through the upcoming weekend. And around the nation, those heat advisories extend back into parts of Texas. Now, on top of the heat ridge, we have a level 4 out of level 5 moderate risk of severe storms this evening over a small part of southern Kansas. And that risk extends down into parts of Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. No formal risk for Alabama. And then tomorrow, there is a marginal risk clipping the southwestern corner of Alabama. And again, this is the ring of fire effect. We've got storms on the periphery of the heat ridge. And some of the storms that do form tomorrow across extreme west and southwest Alabama could be strong. Not raining everywhere, but that marginal risk runs from near York and Livingston down to Mobile. And day 3, which is Thursday, got a risk of severe storms up north around Chicago. So this is rain for the next 7 days. And again, these maps are very, very hard to draw this time of the year because of the random scattered nature of the storms, the uneven distribution. But this is suggesting rain amounts for most spots between 1/2 and 1.5 inches. And we do expect to see an uptick in the number of scattered showers and storms next week. Tropical weather. If you're beach bound, the news is good. The Gulf of Mexico, quiet as a mouse. And much of the Atlantic basin is quiet. The Hurricane Center has that little X around the ghost of Cindy. That is former tropical storm Cindy that's moving north, and they have dropped the chance of this redeveloping down to 20%. And again, if anything tries to reform there, that would most likely head for the Canadian Maritimes. No impact on the United States. We see no tropical storm issues for the Gulf of Mexico or the Atlantic coast right on through the 4th of July, which is good because we all know we can have them this time of the year. In fact, on this date in 1957, Hurricane Audrey slammed into the southwest Louisiana coast, killing over 400 people there. Model fans, here we go. This is the GFS. This is the 12Z run, valid tomorrow at 4. And you see the little 594 circle over East Texas and West Louisiana. That's the center of the heat, and that's beginning to creep in here. And on either side of the heat ridge, we have troughs. And down below that, in terms of sensible weather, most of the state just hot and dry with mid-90s. Any isolated storms across the southwestern part of the state, where they do form, they could be strong. So this is Thursday. Upper 90s are likely. And again, you can see the potential for a few isolated storms during the peak of the daytime heating process, probably not many. And again, we'll be pretty toasty. And this is Friday. The temperatures will likely peak near 100 Upper 90s, a pretty good possibility. Now, I will say the American GFS, if you look at their model output statistics, they've got the high Friday at 88 because of the potential development of some thunderstorms during the midday hours. And if that could happen, that could prevent us from reaching 100. But if no storms, it's going to be hot as a firecracker. We'll take a look at the anomalies on Friday, and you can see the really excessive anomalies are over parts of Missouri. And again, I do weather on radio up there, and I'm forecasting, I think, used 104 for Cape Girardeau Friday. It's pretty brutal for them. But again, around here, highs upper 90s to near 100 Friday. Heat index values, obviously, well above that with the high dew points. But if we can get some convection going, maybe that'll knock the heat down. And then for the weekend, just classic summer weather. The heat ridge weakens a little bit. We're expecting highs in the mid-90s. This is Saturday and this is Sunday. And this is kind of suggesting if we have scattered storms, they might be a little more numerous on Sunday. But even then, not raining everywhere, not raining all day. They'll be random, scattered, mostly between 2 and 9 p.m. In other words, classic early July weather. We'll go to Monday, pretty much the same thing. And a week from today, Tuesday, the 4th of July, in a flat ridge, not especially strong. And again, partly sunny, scattered afternoon and evening storms. Highs upper 80s, low 90s. Not too far from average for this time of the year. Let's go out 10 days, Friday of next week, July the 7th. Nice to see the trough over Oklahoma and Texas, the blue there. And that would kind of replace the big heat ridge. And if that's right, again, for us, we'll be in the probably upper 80s with a chance of scattered showers and storms. We do expect the scattered storms to be a bit more numerous next week as the ridge weakens, the air becomes more unstable. Here's a look at rain for Birmingham. This is coming off the GFS ensemble. The mean is the green line on that map, about 3 inches between now and the 13th of July. And again, as you look at these numbers coming off the NBM, the National Blend of Models for Birmingham, I would subtract about maybe 2 or 3 degrees. That 103 on Friday looks way too hot. I think the high will be closer to 100. Again, not that you would notice the difference. But then next week, notice highs dropping back in the upper 80s over the latter half of the week as we see the heat ridge weakening and an increase in the number of showers and storms. And hot off the presses, got the brand new 8 to 14-day guidance. This is for July 5th through July 11th. Temperatures near average for the northern half of the state, a little above average down in parts of South Alabama, if this forecast all works out. So that's it for the afternoon briefing today. Had a great time today down at Alabama Power Company, downtown Birmingham. Big crowd, safety meeting. Good to see everybody there. Love my friends with Alabama Power. They are absolute heroes. When your power goes out, they're good. So tomorrow, Helena, be at, Riverside Baptist Camp at Riverside Baptist Church in Helena, program for kids there. Thursday, we're going to be in Oxford programming weather radios. Do you have one? If you don't, you need one. Every home and business needs one. That's the baseline for getting warnings. And if you want us to check it or program it, we'll be there at Ace Hardware, Oxford Lumber, between 4 and 6:30 on Thursday. Friday, I'll be at United Ability. That's an amazing ministry in Birmingham. Get to see a lot of folks there. And then Saturday, it's a book signing in Walker County, Cordova, home of the Blue Devils. We will be downtown as part of their big independence celebration. A lot of folks will be there, vendors and stuff. We'll be there between 1 and 3 in Cordova. We'll have the books, all the weather T-shirts, the hats, and the weather dweeb stuff. And, of course, Cordova's had a rich history of dealing with tornadoes over the years. They dealt with 2 tragic tornadoes, April 27, 2011. In fact, one of the chapters in All You Can Do Is Pray, it's about a family in Cordova. So hope to see you there in Cordova on Saturday, 1 until 3. And, of course, we invite you to watch us on television this evening right across the hall in Studio A, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.